So, good evening, everyone, or hello, everyone. I'm Thomas Ketchell. I am the co-founder of Curvo, and this is our first episode of Curvo Talks. And so, the goal of these is really to get to speak to someone within the finance industry or who's doing something interesting in the space and really have an opportunity to learn from them. So, I'm really pleased that our first guest is Joris Van Briel. So, welcome, Joris. Thanks for joining us on the first episode of this.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks for having me.
yeah, it's great. And like, obviously, I know you pretty well now. I've followed your videos online for a while. You're also active on Reddit and you're always answering people's questions, mainly related to investing and real estate. But first things first, introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah, you already said a lot about me, so here it goes. I'm Joris. I'm 30 years old, living in Antwerp, and I'm fascinated by everything that has to do with investing, whether it be real estate or stock market. And I think that handing out my information, the knowledge I have, will help other people to grow in their financial journey. So that's why I started the YouTube channel you just mentioned. So yes, that's about it.
Nice. And so, how did you get started, to be interested in, investing and real estate? Like, what were the triggers for you?
Well, we've been in real estate for a few decades in our family, so it's not something new. It's something I'm exploring deeper than I have been in the past. Back when I was in the college, I did languages. I studied applied linguistics, and then I started to I shifted over to finance, and that pleased me a lot more. So I went there where I worked at a few banks, and now I'm actually also in real estate in my current job. So it's always has to do something with finance or investing in the last few years. So
Yeah, and why is a real estate investment so attractive as an investor? And especially, I'm guessing you're still relatively young, and you're already getting into real estate more and more. Like, why is it such an interesting investment?
well, yes, I'm 30 years old. So is that young? Is that old? I don't I don't know.
It's getting
Um,
younger than me, so
when I worked at one of the big banks here in Belgium, I had a lot of contact with people that were very wealthy, and most of them earned a lot of the gross of their money via real estate. In the 70s, in the 80s, it was the golden years for real estate, and they made their fortunes buying and selling houses and renting them out over time. Um, and that made me start to think, well, maybe it's still interesting to do. And as I dug deeper a few years ago, it was still possible, and actually it's still possible. So it's so interesting to me, the real estate, and also because you have the opportunity to have financial leverage which you can get free via a mortgage loan. Those are things that you cannot do in the stock market. Well, not in the same leverage. So
yeah.
to me, interesting. It's more interesting to be in real estate, and it's more fun. It's more hands-on. It's something you see in the street, and not something you have a number on your on the website somewhere. So,
Yeah,
but
so tell me a bit about like the leverage aspect. So, how does it work concretely? So let's say I'm a property owner, I own a flat, but I want to buy another flat. Like, do I then go to my bank and ask them for another loan using the existing property that I have and the mortgage? Like, how does it work?
well, I don't want to get too technical, otherwise we'll be here for 2 hours. But basically, if you already have some real estate, you can put it into leverage as well. But the main idea I mean with leverage is that you, for example, if you buy an apartment for worth 250,000 euros, you're never gonna put in that 250,000 euros. You're gonna put in 25 or 50,000, and then you're gonna get a loan for the rest. And
Mm.
that's the financial leverage I'm meaning. So you only put in 10-20%, and the rest is financed via the bank using cheap loans at the moment. So that's more the financial leverage. And then of course in the future, if you have multiple apartments or residences, you can leverage them as well to lend out more and to have to pay off less in the longer term.
And why do like I don't really hear much about it in Europe, especially in Belgium. Like, does nobody leverage or use these leverage mechanisms for investing? I suppose because it's not a physical product, or like why is it not widespread?
It's not allowed, basically. Well, it is to a certain point. There's a lot of financial rulings on the stock market. Well, everything that has to do with online investing.
Mhm.
The FSMA has a lot of rulings, as well as the European councils, and they don't allow you to have a leverage of more than 2 or 3 times, two or 2.5. I'm not sure on the details, but you can't. In America, you have ETFs that have a leverage of 7, 8 times the underlying stocks, and in Europe, in Belgium, you can only get one that is leveraged 2 times, maybe 2.5 times. I'm not sure what the details, but you can't go over 3 or 5.
Okay. No, it's good to know. I mean, I hope we didn't lose some of the audience with my questions on leverage, but no, for me, I'm also like really interested, and I know like people watching this on our channel, a lot of them are passive investors and they do index investing. But talk me through some of your actual like investments and how do you manage it? And obviously, real estate is one part, but do you do anything else?
Yeah, I'm a bit overall. I think my main investments are real estate because yeah, I like real estate. I like managing it. I like finding new tenants. I like the upkeep, which is sometimes a hard time. It takes a lot of time. But on the other hand, I'm also investing in the stock market. A few individual stocks, but most of it are ETFs or passive funds actually. Um, I started a few years ago only with individual stocks, and I saw that my performance was lacking to ETFs, so I just switched over. And it's, as you know, it's way easier. It doesn't take any time to follow up. So I'm a big big advocate of funds, and particularly the passive funds.
Yeah, and it's a lot less stressful to keep track of the stocks and then look at them going up and down every day. It's a lot easier approach to have that kind of passive mindset where you kind of leave the money work for you in index funds and ETFs. And so a question related to the real estate, like you said that it's more of a passion as well. Like you actually enjoy the tasks that go around, but like how long do you spend, finding a tenant and then also just upkeep? Is it like a lot of actual labor and is it a lot of hours every week, every month, or how often do you work on it?
Well, that depends from person to person. It's just like investing. You can do everything yourself and then pay
Mm.
less, or you can ask someone else to do everything for you, and then you're gonna pay that person. So it's a bit of both. But as I would say, maybe overall throughout the year, every month I'd be spending maybe 2 hours, 3 hours a month on my real estate. Sometimes it's a few days after in a row, but then it's 4 months nothing. So it really depends on the situation. If something breaks, you have to put in a lot more effort and money. But it doesn't happen every week, but it does happen. I could find a property manager that would do it for me, but then again, I'm losing a few percentages on my rent, and to me, it's not worth it yet. Maybe in the future, but for now, it's perfectly fine. And it also teaches me a lot.
Mm.
If something electrical goes broke, I'll try to fix it myself, and if I can't do it, then I'll get someone else. But 9 times out of 10, I can fix it myself, and I save a few €100 because someone doesn't have to come. So it's a learning curve, and as long as I'm enjoying it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of you can learn so much on YouTube. That's
Yeah,
pretty much how I do
exactly,
all of my DIY at home, which is great.
exactly.
And so obviously you're a big proponent of FIRE and like the financial independence, retire early movement. Um, Obviously, it's online. A lot of people have different ways of doing FIRE, but I'd love to like learn from you. Like how do you envisage FIRE, and what are your goals really?
Yeah, I don't want to speak for the whole community, but FIRE is especially on the Reddit page. It's always stock investing. It's always the
Mhm.
ETF investing, and that's the easiest part. Don't get me wrong; it's easy, and if you put it on the long term, it's perfect. For me, my main source of income will be in the future will be real estate, or at least as long as I keep my apartments, because my returns are a lot higher. If you have a stock market portfolio, you'll get 7 to 10% depending on the funds. No effort put in, so that's a perfect way of investing. My real estate has a lot higher return. One, because of I'm doing everything myself, and the second part because of the financial leverage from the loans from the bank. So to me, I would I don't mind spending a lot more hours or a lot more work in the apartments. So that will be my nest egg for the future. My income in a few years.
Yeah. And so you want to fire, I suppose, or you'll always work because you'll always be managing the properties and doing all of that stuff.
Well, depends. I like working. I
Yeah.
work 6 to 7 days a week, so to me it's no problem. I think it would be weird to not work at all. So
Mhm.
to me, fire is more like a security rather than a goal. At a certain point in time, I would just want to say, well, I have enough money or enough passive income that I don't have to work, but I can still work, so I can focus my time on the things I like to do. But we'll have to see. My goal to fire would be around 42 years of age.
Wow.
Um, and it's mainly because of the real estate. If it's paid off enough, then I can just say, well, I have my income, so I don't care about the rest anymore. Um, but we'll have to see, because I try to get my loans prolonged every time
Mm.
I can, just to limit my monthly cash flows. And at the moment, I'm still building my wealth and my projected trajectory. So
Yeah, and on that topic, we actually wrote an article, and I'll put the link in the show notes. We wrote an article which was comparing, property and buying a property versus investing in index funds, and in the end, the conclusion is that they're both good investments. Like there's, again, it all comes down to your personal situation and your level of risk and how you want to get involved. And so I think all of these elements are all good when put together into having a good kind of financial future. And so in terms of obviously I want to bring talk a bit about Curvo with you because I think it's interesting for us to talk to our customers, and you became a customer of Curvo.
yep.
So I'd love to just learn about, yeah, what do you think of it, and how did it work for you, and how was the app for you?
Yeah, exactly after our previous meeting, I installed the app and I transferred a small amount of money. It was very easy to get through everything. It was very fast as well. I think I did it on a Saturday, and I think even on Monday afternoon, it was already all cool. So it was very straightforward. It's very easy, and since the app chooses your what you call it, your stocks versus bond allocation. You just have to transfer money and it's get invested, and it's very easy. When I open the app, I can directly see what my portfolio is. So it's a very straightforward and easy app.
Nice.
Very easy to use.
Yeah, and thanks for obviously becoming a customer. We really appreciate that. And I just want to also talk to you about your YouTube channel because a lot of the Curvo subscribers, a lot of them are freelancers or entrepreneurs or people starting out or working in marketing. We have a lot of marketers who are using it, and so obviously you've built quite a YouTube channel, and like I'd love to learn like how you built it and what's working for you, and how often do you publish videos as well?
Well, I started almost 2 years ago by now. Wow, that seems a long time. And I started out posting a video a week, and now I've recently changed it to one video every 2 weeks because it's way too swamped with work and everything on the side. So I wanted to um, not post every week and take my time to make a video just to make the quality better. So at that point, you have to make decisions. Either I post every week and then talk about a random
Mm.
subject, or I take my time to pick a good subject and take the time to make it. Um, and it's mainly, as you said, it's mainly focused around finance, everything to do with saving, investing, real estate, everything. And it's also a bit targeted to freelancers as well. The idea from the YouTube channel came from my experiences with investing with freelancers, and then a lot of them post questions directly, and then the thing gets
Mm.
the ball gets rolling, and there's a lot to do, and especially when you are a freelancer, there's so much you can do with your income, and most people just say to their accountant, well, do what seems to be best, but I've talked to a lot of accountants as well, and they don't know everything, so there's a lot to do, and that's why they come to the channel, and they pose very specific and
Mm.
very interesting questions. So
No, it's great, and obviously we'll link to it down below, so people can obviously subscribe to your channel, and also hopefully subscribe to Curvo. If you're watching this
oh,
video, you can like the channel as well. And so yeah, Joris, that's it for our first Curvo Talks. It was quite short. I know we could have gone into more detail, but I think the goal is really for people to kind of meet other interesting people working in Belgium who are doing things related to personal finance and investing. And I think all of your videos related to leverage are really interesting for Belgians. And so I hope, or Belgian residents, so I hope more and more people will come across it. And yeah, thanks a lot for your time. And hopefully we can, check back in a few months and do another one.
yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm very happy to work again in the future. So
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Joris.